with the second part of our strength and conditioning foundations for swimmers. We're going to be incorporating 2 more releases, still using the foam roller. We're not getting that much more pinpointed. We're just going to work some more areas. Meanwhile, you keep doing the releases I showed to you in the first video. After that, we're going to be doing some dynamic stretching and some more functional kind of movement. Means we move in more joints at a time. We go less analytic and isolated towards movement, but we're trying to move more of our body at the same time, which is at the end of the day the goal of performance in any sport, just as in swimming. If you imagine a swimming stroke, we're not moving any body part in an isolated fashion. So really early, we want to incorporate as much of our muscular mass as we can move in a good way. For the releasing part, we're going to be focused on our tibialis anterior, which is on the outside of our shin. Make sure you're not rolling over the tibia here in the middle, but over the muscle belly of the tibialis anterior on the outside. I'm going to place the foam roller, and then we're going to put our leg down just like so, about a 45-degree angle. Just make sure that you feel that muscle belly released and not any kind of pressure on your bone, because that's not going to release a lot, because the bone is going to stay there. For the next one, we're going over our IT band, which tends to be really tender and painful. Make sure you start above the knee joint, and we go all the way up to our trochanter major, which is that bone right here on the side of the hip. So we go from just below that bone right to the knee. If you can, which is going to be fairly painful for most of you probably, you put the other leg on top. Most probably you're going to be better off by placing that foot on the outside and put a good bit of weight down on your arms. And then you go all the way along that IT band. Again, trying to look for tender spots and release these spots more than anything. Don't really back off the pain. You really want to get in that dull and achy pain, because otherwise, just like a massage where you just stroke, it's not gonna do a lot. So you need to get in to those structures. After that, we are going to move into an all-4 position. So we're placing the hands right below our shoulders, the knees right below our hips, and now for the first time I want you to activate the TVA. You don't really need to know the name. I just want you to suck your belly button in and slightly pull your pelvis towards your belly button. That's all the activation that we want. Then we get one leg to the back. Also make sure you're not kicking up and compensating from your lower back. You want to keep your spine completely parallel to the ground. Always imagine you've got like a square here, and you don't want to rotate that square, and you don't want to tilt it that way either. Alright, so we focus on good positioning. Get one leg to the back. If that's fairly easy to bring back and back forward, then we can combine that action with some arm exercise as well. Okay, then just staying in that position, we're going to get the hands to the front, palms facing up, and we move our bum back down so we can kind of dynamically stretch our lats. We come back up to the middle and go back down, just trying to reduce the tension in our lats, which tend to work a little bit too much in our case, because we're swimmers and we're pulling a lot, especially overhead. and that's not really what the human body was designed to do. So we're gonna play around and compensate that in order to be able to practice the sport that we all like to practice. For the next one, we're still going to be in that all fours position, and then we just move both legs back so we get into a push-up. Alright, in that push-up, all we want to do is push the bum back up, release the calves, and go to a downward dog position. Okay? Exhale while you go back, and try to really feel the stretch. Where you feel the stretch, obviously the more functional the exercises get, it can vary. So you can feel that more in your in your chest or in your shoulder region, or for some of you it might also be like the backside of your legs. That really depends on where you're tight, where your weaknesses are, and then we do that in a dynamic fashion. So we go from that push-up position again, reminding ourselves to pull the belly button in, activate the TVA, to a downward dog, and we come back here. For the next one, which is the cobra or the upward facing dog, we pull the shoulders back, we look to the sky, and now the key point is to squeeze the glutes, because I don't want you to numb your glutes and just bend from the lower back. I want you to bend the lower back, extend the abdominals, but also squeeze the glutes, so we are separating our rib cage from our pelvis and just giving a little bit more space to that, which is going to help our positioning in the water later down the road, and just give us a nice stretch on the front side of our hips and our abdominals. Common compensation I tend to see is people going to that position. So you really want to get your shoulders down, your rib cage up, and if you want, you can even look up to the sky, which is going to help it even more. Alright, for the last one, that one's a bit of a more active one again. Just as we did the squat in the first video, now we're gonna work our upper body a little bit more focused. We go again to a push-up position. Now we want to do one push-up, come back to that push-up position. If you want to have more stability, you just get your feet a little bit further out, and then from that push-up position you're trying to tap one chest, tap the other chest. While you're tapping the chest, you're obviously activating your rotator cuff a little bit in that arm that is still on the floor, and you're activating your core in an anti-rotational and anti-extensional way. Alright, so for the first time we combine those two, and then we're ready for the third video.